Welcome back to the Relationship Whisperer Show with Miss Dragonfly, where we discuss all things relationships with the aim to make marriage great again. Now today we have a very special guest in the studio, and that will be joining us for this show tonight.
This man is a Middle Eastern gay, so we can't show you his face on screen.
Morning, Alex.
Morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Alex, as I understand it, your circumstances are very, I think, special and unique. I understand you're from a Middle Eastern background.
Yes.
Yep, but I understand that you are also gay.
Yes.
They identify as gay.
Yep.
And a lot of our listeners out there would probably find that a bit unusual and surprised.
It's probably less unusual than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I guess it's kind of like people know it's out there, but it's more or less people don't know how. We think it's rare because it's not really spoken about.
Yeah, it's kept under wraps.
Very much under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a case of that? Is it just as common as in other cultures and societies, and it's just more hidden? Is that the case, or is it genuinely less?
I think so. I don't know if it's just as common. We'll never know because it's definitely taboo. So
Yeah.
there's not that many people that will come out and say that that's the case.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. It's just because of the stigma,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Being that so, I think a lot of people wonder as well. I mean, how did you realize that you were gay? I mean, to yourself then, because within that culture, it's so, no one talks about it, and it's so looked down on.
Yeah.
If not downright, people are pretty aggressive against.
Yeah.
So how did you come to that realization that you were gay, and when did you?
I don't know. It just has always been the case, I guess. I've always been more attracted to guys, I guess. I just never went through that phase where I started finding girls attractive, but I did with guys. So
Was it when you reached your teenage years or so forth, when puberty hit?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you found everyone else around was looking at girls, and then
Yes.
you couldn't see it? You couldn't see the attraction?
Yeah, no. No, yeah.
And then you're kind of like a bit scratching your head.
Yeah. Well, I knew, I just knew through popular culture or whatever on TV and stuff, the name for it, that I was gay.
Yeah.
But I also, at the same time, knew that it was wrong in our culture, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sort of found more solace sort of in the city. When I started going to the city, that's when it was a lot.
More accepting.
Yeah,
And there's
a lot more acceptable.
There's a community
Yeah.
area. I mean, I know everyone knows about Darlinghurst
Yes,
particular areas
Yeah.
where, come on in,
Yes.
we love you.
Well, I heard that as well. Oxford Street's the gate, so of course my curiosity was piqued. So
So you went there just to look
yeah,
around.
Yeah, and
And you got into the gay scene and...
well, not really.
No?
I never sort of got into gay clubs and stuff like that, but I just felt more accepted there and at ease, and I didn't have to sort of look over my shoulder and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. So you're able to let your guard down.
Yes.
So you had to constantly put up your guard when you were growing up?
Yeah.
You had to pretend you were normal, or
Yeah.
what was the case?
Yeah.
Well,
I was myself really, but you just couldn't mention anything about being gay or that you. Yeah, I had to pretend basically.
So when the boys around you, I imagine cousins and all that, are going to say, Alex, have a look at that chick, kind of thing. Were they thing?
I managed to sort of. I didn't really get that much because I was sort of. I sort of stuck to myself. So I was in my room most of the time, or when I did get a bit older and I had the freedom, I was always in the city.
Oh,
Always
okay.
in the city, yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, look, the other big thing is coming out then?
Well, this is the thing. As soon as I was like 17, 18, I moved to the city, and I lived there. And
I mean, your parents would have asked, why? What are you going moving out? Because is it a big thing that you?
There was no discussion. I sort of just packed my stuff and left one day. And
Well, obviously, they would ask, where are you going? And why are you going?
no, I was just gone. I sort of ran away, basically.
Oh,
and
okay.
moved out. And then my mum found me somehow.
Yeah.
And
She must have been worried sick.
yeah, I mean, I let them know that I was okay.
Yeah.
After I left, I did contact my mum. I said, look, this is the thing. I want to move out. Where are you? I'm not telling you, but I'm fine, you know. And
okay.
playing detective, she turned up at my apartment one day.
Wow. I have to give...
Yeah, with one of her friends.
Yeah.
And he rang the buzzer and like said my name and asked me to come down. I was like, okay. So I was curious who it was. I went down and then my mum popped out from behind him. And she was like crying and hysterical and like, you know,
my
overly
poor baby.
dramatic as, you know.
Yeah, my baby.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, where are you living? How are you living? Oh, like she came up to the place. She saw that it was fine. And
How long after you moved out that she eventually found you?
about 2 or 3 months.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's quick on her. I mean, she
Yeah.
must have been so sick with worry.
She's just persistent.
Yeah.
My mother. Because I did call her. Like,
Yeah.
I spoke to her. So she knew I was okay. But, yeah, she found me.
Okay. All right. Well, there's going to be this other big question. Is about coming out. So what we'll do is we'll go to some music and we'll be right back with that big issue, which
Dun,
I
dun,
think
dun.
a lot of listeners would be curious about as to how it worked out and what happened. So okay. So we'll be right back.
Okay.
Alex, now just before the music break, we're coming up to asking the big question about coming out. Did you officially come out to, your family? I mean, they would know by now, I would think.
Yes.
So how did that happen and how did it work out?
You know, I really just only came out to my mum
Yeah.
because she was a single parent. So,
Oh, so you were only living with your mum?
yeah, since I was 2.
No, what about your dad?
They separated. And I went with my mum because I was the baby. And
Oh,
my other
okay.
brothers and sisters were a bit older, so they stayed with my dad.
Oh, so it's just you and your mum the
Yeah.
whole time. So she was basically a single mum.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came out and told her?
Yeah.
Straight off?
Yeah,
Did
I
she
did. When I didn't tell her till I moved back in from the city,
Yeah.
which was like 11 years later. And
Okay.
Yeah, because, as far as she was concerned, I was doing my thing in the city and I don't know if it shouldn't have been that much of a shock to her. I mean, I used to sit there and watch her get dressed and stuff like that and like be fascinated with her makeup and her getting, her clothes and help her put outfits together. So it's like she should have had some clues.
But did she have an idea or was she just none the wiser and it was like out of the blue for her?
Well, no. At first, my mum's first initial reaction was like, "Oh, we should go to the doctor and get an injection. Like, there's some sort of injection that will fix it." So
how did you actually tell her?
I just said the words, "I'm gay. I don't like girls." And
What was her reaction?
she's like, "Huh?"
It was like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
she say
no,
what's
she
that?
knew what it was. She knew what it was, but yeah, her reaction was, "Let's go to the doctor." I don't know what she thought was going to happen at the doctor's.
In the community, did they think that was a medical issue? Is that why she thought that?
Maybe, I guess so. I don't know how she thought some magical. I just said that's not how it works.
And then what happened?
And she sort of said, "Oh well, it is what it is." Basically, she didn't really freak out that much or anything like that.
Oh,
and
okay.
with the rest of my family, like with my siblings and stuff, I never actually sat there and said, "Guys, I'm gay." But it sort of came up in like, I sort of said it to them each sort of separately. Like, I'm like, I'm gay. You're like, and
were they surprised?
except one of my brothers, because he's like, he's with him, he's sort of like, don't ask, don't tell type situation. He just pretends it's not happening. You know what I mean? Doesn't sort of say anything for or against. You know what I mean? He just, yeah.
So how old were you when you came out to your mum and your family?
Would have been 27, 28.
Oh.
Yeah.
You waited that long?
Well, like I said, I was living in the city. I'd only come home for special occasions, weddings, stuff like that. So they hardly ever saw me. My sister saw me a lot.
Yeah.
And because she lived close.
Yeah.
So she lived in the city. So she saw me a lot. And,
Did she have some inkling that...
Yes, and like... I didn't back down the way I acted or talk, like, in front of her at all. So, yeah, she did. She said, I knew, I've always known. And I'm like, yeah, sure you did. She was like,
she had to like, oh yeah, we already know that, kind of thing. But she didn't really know.
No.
But she wasn't definite, maybe.
It wasn't confirmed. But
she kind of like suspected.
Yeah.
But not saying, or she couldn't bring herself to admit it to herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what about your dad?
I don't have much of a relationship with my dad, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, of course you weren't raised, but I'm sure, but you were still his son. I mean, I would have...
Yeah, no, well, no, not really. Like, I see him sometimes on Father's Day or Christmas, and it's very...
Does he live with your siblings?
No, he's remarried and had 2 kids, and so yeah.
Okay, look. Obviously, eventually he found out.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, but did he say anything?
Never, ever.
Did he say anything?
We hardly say anything to each other as it is, so we're not going to get deep at all. It's just like, hi son, how are you? That's about it.
No anger or anything from him?
No, well, yeah, no. No emotion at all,
no
actually.
Emotions?
No anger, no love, no nothing.
So I guess, though, it would have been easier because you didn't have a father there, in a way, to come out and live the life, because especially in that culture, I guess the man is really, dominant. And
so my brother sort of is the father figure of the, well, he likes to think he is, but...
Yeah, is there much of an age difference?
He's... 62, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like a decade older or something. Decade older. Yeah. So, with a bigger age difference, it's more like, especially when you're a teen. Yeah. Then you have, or a child, obviously, then you see that more, that they're an adult. And then you get used to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. What about your other relatives outside your family? I mean, I know normally these communities are very close knit, especially with extended families. So you do have a lot of interaction with extended family.
Yeah.
So how did that go down?
Well, with most of them, like I said, I didn't really have a lot of interaction. When I was younger, until I sort of moved back to the city. So after I was maybe closer to 30, and even then, like, I wouldn't go to most family, like, if there was, there's always parties, weddings, christenings, there's so many things, so I wouldn't go to a lot, but I started going to more and more, and like the cousins that are my age and stuff, they sort of found out eventually, you know what I mean, but
any aggro, any
no.
It was kind of like, is it just basically acceptance, or?
Yeah, I guess so. Everyone was pretty accepting. If they had anything negative to say, they didn't say it to me. So
obviously, you would have heard.
I'm sure when they got home, they had lots to say, but it was all smiles
around around the grapevine. I mean, things, or did they keep it? No one else know. Or keep it really. Did they see it as a shame on the family or anything like that?
Probably, but they never voiced it. So,
They never
and I
voiced
never
it.
heard anything negative.
Okay.
Yeah, through the grapevine. So
Yeah, they keep
if they
it like-
did, they didn't say anything. But the way
But did
I've
they?
never felt it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they keep it more like a family secret? Like don't want others to know, or that thing?
no, not necessarily. It was just I just don't think they discussed it outside, unless they discussed it amongst themselves, like I said. But I don't know that, nor do I ever feel it.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're pretty much my age, so it's getting more and more acceptable, and I'm noticing there's more and more gay people coming out to their families. Like you hear about it more and more now.
In
you know?
your community.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Well, and what's been
Not
their experience?
It's not like so many, but you just hear it more than you ever would have when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
With social media and everything, people just
in light of it,
are getting educated about that sort of stuff and knowing that it's not like a sin or you're just born that way. It's not a choice.
Yeah. So how did the community view it now?
Look, we're a very religious community, so it's probably still taboo, but it's just, like I said, a bit more accepted. It's not
Or
like
it's just that
you're not demonized, so...
Yeah, it's just like a what is it? Don't tell kind of culture.
Yeah,
kind of
don't
thing?
ask, don't
Don't
tell.
ask, don't help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if everything fine, but as long as you don't make it in your face.
Yeah, yeah.
So so to speak. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you've had quite a what's I say, and a lot easier experience than a lot of people would have thought.
100%, because
Yeah.
I was raised in Australia and brought up here, so
and also
and because I got away from my community, so like I don't know,
Okay.
I don't know how I would have been if I going through my teenage years and into
You were still
adulthood,
there.
and I don't know how that would have been. So
you think you would have had to pretend that you
yeah, probably
play the game?
yeah,
Kind of thing, and I guess being raised with a single mum, it's different than if your father was
100%. Yeah,
still there. I think you would have
I would have felt less comfortable.
Less comfortable.
Yeah, the male patriarchy would
the father
is
figure
not so
with
accepting. Yeah,
rules and so forth, and I guess I know it might have even pushed you to repress it. I don't know how. We're just speculating.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
a what if.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, okay, and I say, yeah, I guess a combination of your particular circumstance, it's made it a lot easier journey for you.
Yeah.
Than what a lot of others would have gone through, and I guess in your community would have gone through, and I guess also what a lot of people would have expected.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
end up getting married and not wanting to, but just having to play the whole part.
Yeah, okay. All right, on that, we'll go to some music and we'll be right back, everyone, with more.
Okay.
Now, back to our special guest in the studio, Alex. Now, yeah, so you've had a pretty okay, relatively easy experience coming out.
Yes, I was very lucky, yes.
Yeah, in your community. So how do you actually, even though your community is kind of like quiet, keeping quiet, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. So how do you actually live your life in the community being gay then? Into action.
Well, there's not much.
Not really live within community,
No.
or just kind of like everyone kind of knows but don't say anything.
Yeah,
And you just go to socials and everything is normal
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Except they don't try to introduce you to anyone.
No. A lot of them say, when are you going to get married? I'm like, I'm never getting married.
Okay, that's going to be another question.
Or I'm not crazy or something like that.
Yeah,
But,
something like that.
Yeah, just something, comical to make it laugh it off and move on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But you did request a chart reading, and that's going to be form part of that that we're going to do later on
Okay.
about whether or not you should get married.
Okay.
Okay. Which brings me, so in your community, how do you look? The thing is, I specialize in relationships and trying to make marriage great again,
Yeah.
like it once was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been as you know, the state of regular marriage in the community, what it's historically always been is, I have to say, unfortunately, it's been torn from every different side and all angles. But the thing is, I don't deal with homosexual relationships simply because I don't understand it. Because it's not my capacity. Because I can't. That's why I can't. I can't give advice or anything of that. It's not. So the attraction, the part. So I'm trying to understand. Is it that you're attracted to a masculine kind of energy or physique, or is it the mental thing?
I don't.
Is it the
The
mindset?
whole package. I don't know. It's just like you. It just happened. I don't know why, what, the reasoning. It just is the way it is. So it's just like me telling you, okay, you try being attracted to women, even though you're not. That's what's normal. You have to, and can you make yourself?
Yeah, no, yeah, I can't. But it's also because like
traditionally
with philosophy
and
the advice I give and all that is very based on the yin yang, the Taoists.
Yeah.
Because you need both, and one balances the other, and so because as a female, unfortunately I'd like to say woman, but that term is also being really much under attack.
You're a woman.
I'm a woman, and I'm a female,
Yes.
and I'm a female characteristics and energies. That's why I'm attracted to the masculine, because that's you know the
yang
my
to your
opposite,
yin.
the yang to my yin, and so that's the right hand to my left.
Yeah.
That's what we're kind of seeking the other side. So
Yeah.
that's my way of understanding attraction. But then it comes to like, you know, if you have the yin attracting to the yin and the yang attracting to the yang, I don't understand it. So it's been quite common, I guess, in the homosexual community, and people notice that you have more with a gay relationship, you have someone more masculine and someone more effeminate. That's normally the case. Is that normally the case? And do you look for the other, like if you have effeminate men looking for masculine men? Is that the issue? Is that how it works?
No.
No?
Not anymore. I don't know.
That's normally the attraction that goes?
But in a lot of cases, yes, but it's not the rule.
Yeah?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
So
especially now with like
because
gender fluidity and it's
with the gender fluidity, a lot of them I find is more effeminate. Yeah, that they become gender fluid, especially if they are male. So do you have a case of masculine men being attracted to masculine men?
No, because I don't see myself as feminine. Usually people don't even know I'm gay unless I tell them.
Yeah.
And I'm still attracted to the masculine.
So you're attracted, you find the
and
masculine.
I'm not extremely feminine in any, you know what I mean?
But so do you just attracted to the masculine type, or you're also the effeminate type? It doesn't matter, or you're more...
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Masculine.
The masculine.
Yeah.
Okay. With the big muscles of the...
No, not necessarily muscles, but just...
But the mindset?
Yeah.
Is it more the mindset?
Yeah, I guess so. And just their mannerisms and... I don't know. Look, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just it's what I'm attracted to more. Yeah,
okay.
Masculine guys.
Yeah, the masculine guy, and also and so it's more like the mindset and the energy around them.
Yeah, I guess
the
so.
masculine. What about the more effeminate ones?
You
don't find an attraction to them?
No.
Okay, so there's particular types.
Yeah, I mean everyone's got types. You know what I mean?
So then in that case, is the mindset then more important than the physical? Or because it seems to be like a homosexual community places the physical body in terms of the appearance, which seems to be more important even than the heterosexual. That's what it sems like. But is that the case?
For me, not really.
Not really?
It's a bit of both. They can't present too feminine. It doesn't attract
because
me.
it doesn't attract you. Yeah.
But
they're saying, chisel body,
I like a chiseled body.
Yeah, choose a body. What about, strong masculine mind, but flabby body? It
Flabby.
doesn't.
Well, I'm not one to talk. So.
Or which one is more important? Is it the chiseled body or the strong mind?
Well, a bit of both would be nice.
Both of it nice. But if you had to choose,
If I had to choose, I'd choose someone with a bit of both.
with a bit of both. But if it was either one or the other, then okay, which one you prioritize more?
I don't know. It really has to be a balance of both. I don't really prioritize one over the other. It's just I'm more attracted to the physical body.
Yeah,
but if there's nothing behind it, then that gets boring.
Yeah,
So,
because that's also like I guess what people believe or think is that the homosexual community is more based on physical, and they're I say more. Yeah,
you think
that's
really?
that's a perception. That's a perception.
Yeah, I mean there is that aspect, but it's like there's a lot more to it. There's
So when you're going,
I mean, we're all like nowadays. Everyone's more attracted. Sorry to cut you off. Everyone's more attracted to the physical. Like the physical is more important to everybody now.
yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. Even like I say with like dating apps like Tinder and so forth, it's all based on appearances.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they look at it, I swipe right or left.
Second, right, left. You know.
Yeah,
what
I
you look
don't. I
like.
don't know which one says yes and which one says no because I have no interest in those.
Yeah.
Because that's all the physical. But also, look, for a heterosexual, it's easy when you're trying to go after someone in terms of I'm a woman, so obviously I'm going to be eyeing men. Okay, and so and they smile at me and say, okay, that's a go. But I guess for a gay person, how would you know which man is actually would be more inclined to you? If he's actually open or gay.
Built-in gaydar.
Yeah.
Come equipped.
So how can you tell?
You just develop sort of sixth sense.
Sixth sense?
You're not always right, but I mean, if you can tell when someone's giving off the
vibes. Is it just
or
from
the
their
signal,
occasion or when you're locking eyes, when you catch their eye?
Yeah.
Is that the case? And then you kind of...
Yeah, and if they sort of avert their gaze, then they're probably not interested. But if they lock eyes with you and like...
I say, don't look at me, mate, or kind of think like that.
I would never be that, like...
Overt.
So, yeah, it's a lot... I'm a lot more subtle when it comes to that. But some people are, and they do have to put up with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But,
But is it kind of like you look around and if you have someone that you look like you're attracted to and then you kind of like trying to make signals? Is that how it works?
No, I don't. It's just like it works with you guys.
But
when you look at a guy and if when he's interested, right?
Look, it's kind of like a lot easier for us because we know it's a man.
It's pretty much the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like you look at a guy and maybe sometimes you'll read the signals wrong.
Yeah.
But usually you can tell, after a while you can tell. You know what I mean? How they're responding to you, how they're taking what you're putting out. You know what I mean?
So, do you date within your community, or you have to go outside of your community to find a partner?
No, I don't even look inside my community. So, yeah.
No. Is it because you don't just not attracted to, or you're forced because of situation?
No, yeah. Not because I'm not attracted, but my mindset's not there when I'm around my community. Like, that's not what I'm there for. You know what I mean? If that's what I want, I usually will go elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're not. Yeah, you can't be open to. Well, I'm sure there's someone else like you in your community.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but
just not attracted.
They're busy keeping it a secret too, I guess, half the time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so basically,
it's harder to pick.
Yeah. So best not to try in your own. I say circle or pool or whatever. Yeah. Go elsewhere.
Yeah.
For that and and so you had to go to the city for that or
Pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have
It's
you?
just more convenient there, and there's more like-minded people there, so it makes it a lot easier from the get-go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there any particular area in the city, or just generally?
Well, usually Darlinghurst,
Yeah.
Surrey Hills,
So all
it's
the usual.
actually everywhere in the city. Like you can go anywhere in the city, and it's a lot more relaxed, laid back,
Okay.
and accepting
Accepted. Okay.
and available.
And available. Are they surprised? Any surprises because of your background?
Oh no,
No.
no.
Oh,
Have you been
okay.
to Mardi Gras? There's floats in every nationality.
No, I can't say I have. Also, I think I might have passed it in this when they had a parade. I passed it, but roads were blocked, and so it didn't bother.
Yeah,
It didn't bother. Okay, yeah.
You should go. It's fun. It is. It's a good time.
Okay, on that, we'll go to some music, and we'll be right back. Now, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the big issues, I guess, within the last, 10 years or so forth, it's been, and things have changed ever since we've had the introduction of gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's become legal now.
Yeah.
I guess from that, everything started. Now, the issue of gay marriage, is it a big thing in the gay community? Is there a lot of gay marriage, actual gay marriage?
Well, more and more. Yeah.
More and more. So you've heard of like this couple getting married, that couple getting married, and
people
and so
going to
forth.
weddings, like friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. They're saying is it? I don't know how popular it is in the gay community. I mean, as many relationships, I guess, in terms of ratio of gay couples getting married versus the hetero.
No.
No, nowhere near.
It's not there yet. But
They're there because is the culture. Is it like, do they really get married? Or is it only if it's so serious, so long term? Otherwise, it's just, hey, we're here for the meantime until we're both no longer interested.
I think because it was more taboo before, people had to keep it secret, and they couldn't get married. It wasn't even an option, or it really couldn't be an open couple. So people assumed that it was just more about sex and not as serious, and just But now that it's an option, and people's mindset about being gay is a lot more open, and I'm finding that the younger community, like generations, are more traditional, where like there'll be boyfriend and girlfriend, and they'll stay together like boyfriend and
boyfriends.
But they stay together like typical
Really
boyfriend
couples.
and girlfriend, and they get married.
So it's, but the hookup culture is still there. It's a
the
big
hookup culture, yeah,
It's-
in every in every kind of sexuality. There's still straights, gay, yeah, but it's still there. But it's not as prevalent, I guess, as it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe because you've been in the community for quite some time. I would say your entire life, virtually.
Yeah, I have, but like I said, it's just like now I've noticed that it's just becoming more normalized, and more people are going that route. So I guess because it's available now, and it's not sure if it's just something. Oh, it's a good thing to have, but it's kind of like making a statement rather than actually something they really want. No, well, it just gives them the right to like if say you're married to your husband and he's in hospital, and you've got to make a decision. If you were a gay couple, your decision or your choice would be null and void. It didn't matter because you're not married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so his family would come in, even though maybe he's expressed to you that if anything was to happen, this is what I want. And you've been together for 10 years or 15 years, and he doesn't have much of a relationship with his parents at all. They don't know anything. But then he ends up in hospital and his family's there, and this is what he'd want. You can't make that decision.
Even though you're de facto, so to speak. And de facto couples, I don't know if the law regarding even hetero de facto couples, whether or not they can make the decision.
It's not just that. It's, okay, say you've been together and your partner dies. And you've put into this house and bought it together or something, but it's in his name or something.
Yeah.
You get no recognition. You know what I mean? So it's a legal thing as well, and it's just having the right to say, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, and I want to marry them.
Okay.
So I think I just think it's getting more and more acceptable, and a lot more people are doing it.
Okay. But in terms of personally, what do you think of gay marriage? As a personal?
Yeah, I would do it if I found someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and we wanted that security. I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think we're gay marriage the same as a hetero marriage?
Pretty much now, yeah.
Pretty much now,
Yeah.
Because I don't because of the acceptance, or you see it as no different.
Well, yeah, it's no different. You just want to spend the rest of your life with the person that you love. You want to let the world know that that's the person you want. So you and with all the other rights and stuff that come with it as well.
Oh, yeah, okay. So on that, would you personally marry?
Yeah, if I found someone, I'd get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so you're open to marrying yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not sure because a bit earlier you said you wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't get married?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what I was on then, but
yeah. Yeah. That's why I think. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm surprised.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember saying that. But
yeah, you said not that you would. I say yeah.
Okay,
earlier. Okay.
I would,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You
Ignore what I said earlier then.
Yeah. and would you still, I don't know, extrapolating that again, having kids?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, is that something you consider?
Yeah, I love kids.
Yeah. And you haven't, but
there's kids out there that are in the system
yeah.
with no parents. And look, if you're from a loving home, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? If you're looking after and bringing up a child with love, responsibility, then, what's the harm in that?
Oh, you mean adopting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Adopting children.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, is adoption generally much in your community though?
Well, it's a lot more people are doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With adoption.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Some go through surrogates.
There's lots more steps to it. I think for a gay couple to have children, it's
probably a bit harder. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
but I think it's getting easier and easier.
Yeah, because whether or not whoever wants children, it still doesn't take away the fact that you still need sperm and an egg.
Yeah.
And a womb to carry.
Yeah.
So then if you're going on surrogacy, then it makes things more complicated because then you have mixing of parental rights and also then in terms of the person that's going to be the surrogate mother. And then I guess there's at the moment this
that's the same. Isn't that the same issues with the heterosexual couples?
No, because whether or not the surrogate would have any legal rights to the child, and then whether there's concerns about surrogate women being exploited.
Yes.
For that reason as well.
Yeah.
And even amongst, I think there was a quite a famous case, I think a number of years ago in Australia, where this was actually a heterosexual couple, mind you.
Yeah.
and they got a lady in Thailand to have their child for them.
Yeah.
But then the child ended up having Down syndrome, and they rejected the child.
Yeah.
They could not. They did not accept it. So then the surrogates left with the child.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing about doing things
Yeah,
overseas,
so
and
that's why it's more complicated. It is more complicated. I know you can understand a commercial surrogacy. In the Western world, at least in Australia, it's not allowed. I think in the US it is commercial surrogacy. But I guess unless you're able to find a good friend willing to just have a baby for you, I personally wouldn't do it because of what you have to go through.
Yeah.
A woman, her body changes completely.
It's crazy. Yeah, it is.
Permanently, in lots of instances, permanently, because I think at a very point, the hips change, and then giving birth and the pain of birth, if it goes down that route, or a natural birth, or even a cesarean section. Well, that's a huge operation. And it's have a huge cut in the body to take the baby out. Obviously, the cut has to be big enough to pull the baby out.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
So huge operation, and I have to give my hats off to women that are willing to do that.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big thing. I personally wouldn't do it because of it is a big, huge ask. And then I understand why a lot of women want to be compensated for that.
Of course.
But then when you go down that route, then you've got she being exploited or paid enough, or the broker getting 80-90% of the fee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's nuts.
Yeah. Then how can you place that? And I guess
I don't think that would happen in America, or if it did, if it became legal in Australia, I think there'd be a lot of provisions before, and the mother would have certain they wouldn't be able to exploit someone like that here.
Okay. No, they wouldn't.
I don't think.
No, that's why
legally.
That's why.
I think there'd be guidelines and
that's why they don't allow commercial surrogacy for that reason.
If it was allowed in Australia, though, like I'm sure in America, there's a lot of you can't just exploit people like that. But that's why they go to countries where,
they need the money.
They need the money.
They need the money, and then that it opens up a can of worms as to how much of it does she get, and then does she? Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, a whole other subject for this story. Yeah. So that's why, in terms of
adoption, I think would be the route I would go, because there's so many kids that need
adoption. A home. I mean?
And if you're willing to love a kid, you know what I mean. If that's what you want, there's plenty of kids that need love. You know what I mean. So that's the route I would go.
Yeah. Okay.
But everyone, people want maybe something that came from themselves, and I can understand that too.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Okay. When I heard it, even the Pope is okaying.
Yeah. Well.
Gay marriage, which was a shock to basically every Catholic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Christians altogether.
Yeah.
That's happened.
It's good that they're moving with the times. I mean, times change. People's way of thinking changed. What was wrong hundreds of years ago isn't wrong now. We just we're evolving. So everything has to evolve with it, in a way, don't you think?
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Though there's not going to be, say, people invited to a gay wedding in your community.
Well, they might get invited. I don't know how many would turn up.
Have you heard of any gay wedding that's happened in your community?
I think I heard a rumor once that there was an Assyrian guy getting married to someone. I don't think his partner was from the same.
Yeah, but he was actually getting married.
But he was getting married, and he had a wedding, and I think only his family went. I don't his immediate family. I don't think it would have been a big,
Not even cousins or anything.
Maybe if he had me, some that knew and accepted and were fine with it,
Yeah, but
it depends how.
But as you said, they're few and far
between, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, not so prevalent.
No. No.
So, and also with regarding, I guess we can all trace back, at the moment, the present culture generally, at least in the West, is really pushing LGBT, issues, and we tracked it. I guess if you track it back, it all started with legalizing gay marriage. It seemed to be the catalyst when all this came out, but with all this pushing of all this LGBT issues and I don't know, issues or agenda or so forth. What do you think of all this? All this that's been happening.
It's gone a bit crazy. It's a bit too much, some of it. But I mean,
I guess they want children to explore their sexuality and all that.
Yeah, no, children and that's, I don't know. That's a bit too. That's not my thing. But like pushing. That's. I don't really want to even get into that. That's just.
But then you hear. Yeah,
it's just gone a bit too far for me. A lot of it. Yeah.
Too much. I mean, like. In previously, I guess you would have had, not even previously, I said even presently, you've had, children's books explaining sexuality and all that being left in their library or being taught.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
nuts
forth.
to me. That's nuts to me. There's no need for that. Whether you're heterosexual or homosexual or what, just be a kid and let them discover themselves
Children need
for
to
themselves.
keep their innocence.
Yeah. We don't have it for long. You know what I mean? So pushing sexuality onto kids is just, that's where
or wanting
draw the
children to
line.
explore whether or not they're gay or bi or
fine,
whatever.
But, some kids go through phases. Some
Yeah.
kids, I just think you should let them get to at least 16.
Yeah.
17. If they want to start doing something, then you're a bit more mature then. But, starting hormone therapy and stuff like that when kids are...
Yeah, that's
so
another
young,
issue.
that's
But
not,
but personally, okay, we just start with one issue versus that, talking to, primary school children about being gay and all that.
No.
You think no?
No.
No, even though...
Look, their family can have a general discussion about it, or
But
you can say not to be prejudiced against them and just have a general, but it's I don't even know what age you'd even introduce that into it. You know what I mean?
I guess as
Look,
children...
there's social media. They're bombarded with this stuff from every direction. It doesn't need to be done at school as well. You know what I mean?
I think for a child it just confuses them.
Yeah, 100%.
But even with the social media, it
100%.
confuses. What does this mean?
Yeah.
And I guess if you teach a 6 or 7 year old, tell a 6 or 7 year old, even what gay is, okay, marriage is just two people that love each other, two people same gender love each other.
Yeah.
I think there's danger that, well, for a little boy, I love daddy, doesn't mean I'm gay.
No, yeah.
Because their mind's not developed enough and then they can't conceptualize.
Yeah.
If they don't understand, mummy and daddy love each other, then that's the example, that's what they know.
Yeah.
But if you can say,
if a boy was to say, I love mummy, but that's a different kind of love. You have to explain that to them as well.
And then they can't, in that mind, they can't grasp what the concepts are. At that age, look, at that age, I think the children don't know what sex is. And
That's
if your
right.
children, we've got to teach them what sex is at a young age. It's this thing that's pushing.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yes, they get confused, it accuses them. But I guess there's also resentment of why, if they introduce too young, they might not develop the way that they would have normally developed. But I guess there's other people who might say, because they were repressed or something. I don't know. But you grew up in a culture that was it was traditional and very that, but that did not stop you from being gay or
you're going to
your
be
gayness
what you're
come
going
out.
to be, yeah.
Gayness come out.
And I figured it out myself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think doing that to kids, it's just going to confuse them.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of girls I know were tomboys when they were young.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're going to be a lesbian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or boys that played with dolls when they were young. You know, that's just...
But then I might say, well, what's wrong with being gay? You know, if they
There's
turn up
nothing
to
wrong with
gay
it.
and then, you know.
There's nothing wrong with it, but you don't have to talk to them about it at all. Like when they're kids. Let kids just be kids. Do you know what I mean? If they come to you with a question, then you as a parent can tell them whatever you want. You know what I mean? And they're gonna, like you said, my parents and my upbringing was one way, but I still ended up doing what I'm doing because that's just the way it was. I don't know. I don't agree with it.
With that whole because now it's even just apart from being gay is one issue, but now pushing, I think, gender fluidity and transgender. Yeah, is gender fluidity recognized in the gay community? I don't, or is it just something from the mainstreams that pushed out without their? I don't know.
It used to be called bi, I guess. I don't know. Now you what's the difference between gender fluid and bi? I'm not 100%.
I think bi.
Some of the initials at the end confuse me.
I don't understand all the.
I don't either.
So the gay community, do they accept the? I don't know. I don't even know what queer is. The other side of it, I don't know. Or I think bi is when you're attracted to both, but I don't know for gender fluidity.
So what's gender fluid?
Yeah, what's
you don't feel like you fit into? I think it's where you don't.
Or you can be whatever gender that day. You can be another gender another day. Or
okay, I'll probably get crucified for this, but there's two genders.
Two genders, and they are
male and female. You're either born with one or the other, or unless you fit into that correct category where you're intersex or.
But that's like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But have you ever met anyone?
What you choose to be when you become an adult or grow up, it's up to you. And if someone wants to be called a she or I'll address people the way they want to be addressed. That doesn't bother. Everyone's got the right to do that. So, but apart from that, I don't know.
Okay, with all this, and the tray. I don't know within
new
a gay
stuff's coming out. It's just I can't even keep up with it.
Well,
now you can identify as a cat. If you did that 20 years, 15, 10 years ago,
you'd be laughed at.
You'd be in a loony bin. Like, I don't get it. I don't know.
I think they're providing litter boxes to the children like that in class.
Stop it. That's crazy. Is that crazy? I don't know.
That's what I heard. I'm thinking, what?
A litter box. For God's sake, that's just nuts. What do they do? Go to anyway.
In the class or something?
Oh, stop! No, no,
you shouldn't go there. I'm thinking, what are people thinking?
It's just unhinged.
I don't know. I think recently in the US, what we heard, they were providing what do you call it? Tampon dispenser in the boys' high school toilet.
Okay.
And I think it lasted 20 minutes. The boys ripped it off.
Yeah, of course
they took it off, and the boys got in trouble and about vandalism and so forth. I don't know who they expected to use that dispenser.
Well, I think they're in there for girls that are transitioning to becoming men. So they're still menstruate, so they need. But they don't. Do
they have anyone
into the girls' toilets to do it? They don't feel comfortable going into the girls' toilet.
Okay, I haven't been in high school in a while, but I can't remember if there's a unisex or disabled toilet.
No, but no.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Disabled toilet? No. We didn't have one at mine.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have one, but it's all in every public place. I guess that has a men's room and a woman's room also has a disabled toilet or a unisex one as well. Yeah. And I can't understand why they can't put it in that.
Neither do I.
So yeah, because normally it's just for anyone to go. But I don't know, and so transgenderism. What do you think of that?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
If you're an adult.
Yeah.
Or like I said, if you're like 15, 16, 17, like when you're getting a bit older, if you've lived, like, because we know, like, being gay, I knew from a very young age. So you know yourself. So, but I think it should be left to the individual to make, not their parents to be like, yeah, okay, start taking hormones, start, from a
To
really
push
young,
it.
because some of that stuff's irreversible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, I guess it's a case by case situation, but when
But
it
from
comes
what
to,
age? Has adult, eh? You think adult?
like I said, teenage, like a teenage to closer to adult,
Yeah.
or like 15 and over, 16. Like I was pretty mature at that age. Like
Yeah.
I sort of knew where I was going. Where you know what I mean? So yeah, but before that, I don't think it's
but I remember when I was a teenager, I was seen as mature for that age. But looking back, I don't think I would have been able to make those type of decisions because I did not have the life experience and my mind was too young and. I wasn't even sure how dating worked at that stage.
Yeah.
Let alone if I've been born in the wrong body to decide that.
Well,
Or
yeah.
big decisions.
But if it's something that it's always been in your mind, it's always been something you've struggled with, you know what I mean? You've always felt like you're in the wrong body or whatever they feel.
Whether or not it's
you've
actually
been struggling with this all your life.
whether or not it's come from you or because you were fed that from a young age, you see.
Well, now
Lisa,
that it's like everywhere,
yeah,
that's a concern.
Yeah.
That kids that maybe weren't that are thinking, oh, that's what I am. That makes sense to me. But
or that's what's popular, or I'll be loved
that's
if I
another
did.
thing. Yeah.
If I'll be loved if I am.
Yeah.
Or I'll be popular if I am.
I'm not accepted now. Maybe I'll be more accepted if I do that. Or I don't.
Then it becomes hard whether or not that's the case, or if they genuinely. You see, that's. Then again comes the stricken point. Well, is it real?
Well, I don't know. It's a case by case thing, I guess. But in my opinion, until you're at least 15, it shouldn't even be a discussion.
You shouldn't be even exposed.
Yeah. Well, you try to minimize it because it's just the younger you are, the more confusing it is. You know what I mean?
You don't understand what. Yeah. But I don't know about you, but I guess as a kid, if children are not allowed to even get tattoos without parents' consent because they may not don't understand the implications of having that too because it's permanent.
Yeah.
Right, the body, and we don't allow drinking under a certain age as a minor, or sign documents or contracts because do they understand it? Have they that adult mind? And I guess they say yes. That our child decide what it wants. Well, you ask the 6-year-old, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to say? Ice cream.
Yeah.
Next day, ice cream.
Yeah.
Because I guess they don't understand what it actually means in terms of eating healthy food or what's good for your body. There's just more of what they think what they like and what appeals to them right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think they have to be closer to adulthood. Well, closer to 18, what we consider to be an adult in Australia. If you're a few years away from that and you want to start, that's fine. But from like 15 under, at least 15, 16 under, I don't think it should be an option for the parents to decide.
I don't know, because even at 18, or say even at 21, when I look back to when time I was at that age, I was thinking, gee, I was so dumb. I didn't know this.
I'm 50 and I think I was dumb at 30 and 40. So,
and I'm thinking, why did I choose that career? I did not know better. Even a career, you see?
Yeah.
I had no guidance.
Yeah.
Like the most of us. I'm thinking, even at that age, we can't make an informed decision just about what to study at uni or your career, let alone something that's going to be permanent.
I know.
So, I don't know. Did you, if you look back at the time when you were 18, did you think you were smart? You can make.
Of course I did. I think I knew everything. when I was 18.
Yeah. But looking back now.
Now I know I wasn't.
Yeah, was it? You just smack your if
no one
you
could
met
tell
your
you.
if you met your 18-year-old self,
Yeah.
would you just
Yeah.
whack around
Yeah.
whack yourself around the head?
I'd say get your ass back in school.
Yeah.
Stop going out so much. It's not
Yeah, but you don't understand any of that when you were that age.
Yeah, of course. You think there's plenty of time to do it, or later. I don't even want to think about that now. Like you don't. The older you get, the wiser you get. That's
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
you do.
yeah.
I guess that's why they say, well, it's that youth is wasted on the young.
Yes. Give it to us. We want it.
I want to have all this knowledge now in a young
my
body.
God. They've invented everything. Can't they bloody invent a time machine? That's all I'm waiting for.
Go back.
But with this knowledge.
With this
imagine.
knowledge and a
Imagine.
young body, in a
Yeah.
young body.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's also why they're too in a hurry to grow up and experience life. But
It's just the way it is.
But,
It's the way it is. When you're young, you're dying to grow up, and when you're old, you're dying to get back young
young again
so-
and thinking, okay, how dumb are you? You made that decision. You think you're smart?
Yeah.
You know nothing.
Yeah. But try telling that to an 18-year-old. They're like, what the hell do you know, you old, That's old. That's the old way of thinking nowadays, but it's
nowadays until
it's the same.
and
It's-
like you need
it's-
to think your parents knew nothing.
Yeah. It's
and now
not
when
until you get older, they
you
knew
said-
everything.
Yeah. Say, okay, realize. Oh, that's what they meant.
Yeah.
Back then, why
Yes.
didn't I listen?
Yeah. of
Okay.
course.
So it's unfortunate though some children or
That's the
something
gift of time, though, isn't it?
didn't have people to tell them.
Mm.
There's also danger in parents that are thinking having too much of a hands-off approach that they don't give any guidance to the to their children.
Yeah.
And I think back then, well, why didn't I have anyone that would told me? Like the corporate world is full of backstabbers, and like like a playground. It's absolutely toxic.
Yeah.
If anyone, I don't know if you have been, but if anyone's ever been in a corporate environment, that is saying you spend half the time watching your back and only half the time doing the work.
Yeah.
And that is there's this little clubs, one person and another, this faction, that faction. Or you've got to be one of us. You want to get a promotion. Doesn't matter how hard work or how good your work is, how hard a worker you are, how good the work you do, whether or not you're in the in crowd.
Yeah. Well, it's just like
That's
that's high school all over again, isn't
it
it?
was high school, just like
You
children.
can't sit with us. Yeah.
You can't sit with us, or you're not one of us, and so on forth. They're cool girls.
Yeah.
And even there's some workplaces I've heard people getting promoted because of how well they dress every day.
Mm-hmm.
They're seeing, and their perception is they're more competent.
Oh.
It does happen. So
All
I've been
all-
through corporate, and so I can say.
Yeah, I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that.
But
But in general, yeah. A lot of emphasis is placed on appearance and,
And so-
the way people perceive you and
so forth, and
your Instagram pictures
and bullying and so forth. And
Yeah.
after being through that, I can honestly say I wish someone had advised me so I don't go that route. Because it's all full of sociopaths.
Yeah.
And that you have to actually be a sociopath to
Oh.
to climb the corporate ladder and be promoted. I know a lot of people out there, our listeners, will might argue
Disagreeing
against
with
that,
you,
disagree with that.
Yeah.
Though some of those that have made it, but there are a lot of people that are not haven't
I'm sure there's
experienced.
some exceptions. to
Yeah,
that
haven't
rule.
experienced it.
Yeah.
Okay, can't conceptualize it.
Yeah.
If they haven't been in that environment
Yeah.
to know. But back then, what did you have? Your parents didn't tell you. Either they didn't want to,
Or they didn't know themselves.
or they didn't know themselves.
Yeah,
Either thought,
came from that.
either thought, they don't want to interfere, or you might not listen, or whatever, or they generally don't know.
Well,
And-
their perception was probably corporate is the best way to go. Like,
Yeah.
because they don't, unless they've experienced it, they don't know.
Yeah,
You know
or
what
the
I mean?
backstabbing
it's
and all.
perceived as like, you're successful if you're in, climbing the corporate ladder.
Like
and
your
that's-
manager level now,
Yeah,
or what
that's
level
it.
you are.
That's- Yeah.
Yeah, my son's been to now by I don't know, deputy vice president or something, or
Yeah,
some company, whereas they don't know that what their son might have had to do to get to
get
that
there. Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
That is so bad. And career advisors at school, I have not found them one tiny bit helpful.
Yeah.
They cannot advise properly. They can
Yeah.
advise what it involves, what you have to study to get to do that.
Yeah.
But because they themselves have never been in that type of environment,
Yeah.
and also no one actually, the media doesn't tell you this is what goes on because
Yeah.
the legal, well, that's not,
You don't air out the dirty
you
stuff.
don't have you do stuff.
Yeah.
And basically stuff, well, the law says you can't discriminate and you can't bully and so forth and
Yeah.
so forth. That's
Sure.
illegal talk.
Of course.
But the practical side stuff is all full of bullying and
In
knives out.
reality,
And
that's-
to me personally, when people were working from home, I guess one of the big reasons why people want to continue to work from home, besides the convenience, don't have to travel, they get more time. It's because they cut out the travel time. It's also people can't be bullied when they work from home.
Yeah.
The bullying and the all these little innuendos and little plays can't be done when everyone's working from home.
Yeah.
And one of the, they want to, unless it's a productivity reason why they want employees to come back into the office. I mean, it's just so those games can start again and then you can start bullying again. I know probably to our audience that's never been there, this is a lot to take in. So we'll go to some music and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Now, Alex, as you know, I'm also an Now, Alex, I'll repeat that. Now, Alex, as you know, I'm also an astrologer, and that's why you also requested a reading.
Yes.
Okay. So have a look at what your future holds and whether or not when you'll get married and so forth. All right. Now, okay, the astrology that I do, type of astrology that I do is, well, I call it Taoist astrology. So, but most people are more familiar with the term Chinese astrology. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's also known as 4 pillars or Bazi astrology because of the 4 pillars. Mm-hmm. So now most people are, familiar with the zodiac, the general zodiac. Mm-hmm. And they also all know, like, you probably would have had to be hiding under a cave somewhere to not know that this is the year of the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So most people are familiar with that, but what they don't know is there's also a sign for the month, the day, and also the hour.
Okay.
Okay, and some people would know. Not everyone knows that this is actually a wood dragon year. Mm-hmm. So we call it. So it's an element which we call the stem. Mm-hmm. Is the element, and the sign if we call the branch.
Okay.
So it all comes out. And the way it works is, like I was saying, the first half of the year would have more of an influence from the wood element, and the second half is where the dragon influence is dominant. And in the middle, there's a bit of a transition period. So as you get closer to the middle, then the dragon starts having an effect with the dragon's energy. Mm-hmm. And so it's weaker, but it's there, and then you go in and it becomes stronger and stronger. And of course, as you go towards the end, then it becomes weaker. Mm-hmm. And it transitions to the next sign for the next year.
Yes.
Okay. So from that, we've generated from your birth details these 4 pillars. So your year is basically Yang Water Rat. You're a rat.
Yes.
Okay. You would know that.
Yes.
Okay. Your month, though, is Yang Metal Dog.
Okay.
Your day is Yin Metal Rabbit. And the hour you're born is Yang Wood Horse.
Okay.
So you had all those comments. So how it works is we look at the nature, how these interact is determine the nature of your chart, and your luck, how it also with your luck cycle. Now your luck cycle is also the same thing where you get a stem and a branch, and it goes through, it's 10-year cycles. Okay, so unlike, like the year of the dragon, it's like a 1 year. So you get, 6 months of this, 6 months of that. The luck cycle covers 10 years, so it's 5 years of the element, the stem, and then 5 years of the branch or the zodiac sign. Okay, and of course, you've got a bit of a transition period in between. Between crossover.
Yeah.
All right, and so how that interacts as to how you get along in life, how you go along in life. Now, your chart is interesting. It's partly fire and part water. So,
Jeez, I
Yeah.
extinguished myself.
yeah, it's yourself. Our problem is, what we call the day master is basically the stem or the element of your day, and that's represents you and how you interact with the rest of your chart. We reference it back to that. So being yin metal, fire is going to be your power element. And output, of course, an output is water.
Mm-hmm.
And then what water produces is wood. That's your money element.
Okay.
And money, produces power, which also wood produces fire.
Okay.
So that's how it goes, the cycle it goes.
Okay.
Now, your chart is rather more complicated than an average chart.
Really?
So
I'm a complicated kind of guy.
So I've had to use an even more advanced method.
Okay.
Okay, this is the method not all astrologers know about and or able to practice. It's actually quite complex.
Oh, lucky me.
And reserved for more of the more complicated cases.
Okay.
Some are quite straightforward. Look, as saying all astrology methods cover a lot of things, but unfortunately they don't look at everything. They cannot recognize everything.
Yeah.
Or have an answer to everything.
Yeah.
And that's why also even within the same astrology so forth, you're thinking Chinese or Taoist astrology. Most people are familiar with the Western astrology. Okay, but
Yes.
I decided didn't go that path because I found that was very good in terms of explaining your personality or so forth, but it didn't really work for me at forecasting
Yeah.
and really going the underlying nature of what you need or so forth. It was very So and it's just a misconception. And I was one of those people as well because I had a Western astrology reading and it described my personality so great. And so I thought the forecast would be just as accurate, just as fantastic.
Yeah.
And it ended up not being.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I realized, it's good for some areas, but not good for others.
Yeah, it doesn't encompass everything.
It doesn't encompass everything. Now, even within this, people know as Chinese astrology, there are different methods. There's solar, lunar, and then there's the more advanced method. And each method explains for quite a majority of cases. But there's a few more difficult ones that it doesn't explain. Like the methods say, okay, you'll be good in this part, this part, this part.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when you'll be successful or weaker or downtrodden in these in this time, and this time.
Yeah.
And for the vast majority of people, that's true.
Yeah.
But there's some areas it doesn't explain, and so it's another method that will explain that.
Okay.
Yeah, and also another method will explain why. No, you're not. People would think, this year should be great for you, but then it ends up being not. So I think, what happened?
Yeah.
It's just your case needed the other method, which the reader didn't use.
Yeah.
So you kind of can't blame the reader and so forth. They do what they do, but also I guess then they would have been asked more to use other methods just to make sure, and not all of them do it because it works for so many of cases they don't bother.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just trying to explain people why it seems that some readers do not. In some readings, it doesn't seem to work, so to speak, and that's the reason why.
Okay.
Okay, and in your case, look, your month is governed by the dog branch. Now, dog and dragon clash.
Okay.
You clash. So, and the month, like I say, the pillars represent different things. So, the year pillar would represent, say, the outside interactions with the outside, or how people perceive you. That is, your face. You're facing how you face the world.
Yeah.
And then the month would govern things like sisters, your mother, and your career.
Okay.
And your work, and your day pillar represent you, your spouse, inside, and the hour is normally your children represents your children and the later stages of your life.
Yeah.
And also, the early stage of childhood up to when you're about 20, and then it goes progressively. The month gets more dominant, the day is more dominant, and then finally the hour, your old age, when you're in your older years. Now, the dog and the dragon clash. Yeah, and opposites, and normally would say like either your sister, your mum, or your work will be badly affected this year. Okay. However, your chart is a little different because we had to consider, and that works for a vast majority of people. That's true. But your case is a little different. Okay. Basically, look, your authority is your fire, and that's been engulfed by the dog. It's been locked away. So you might find your life, people kind of like, they say, know that you've got authority. In terms of authority, your authority has been locked. So people never really took you seriously. Is that true?
100%.
Yeah, even though you know yourself,
Yeah.
you're capable.
Yes.
It's just why don't you think, okay, you just want it out.
Yes.
Okay. And so because of that, now the dragon is the clash. The clash is the dog. Boom, open. Opens it up.
Yep.
And then the fire can escape.
Okay.
And that's your authority.
Okay.
So in this year, and it's probably you might want to start your career this year or something like that. It makes you feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than before you didn't.
A lot of things are changing this year.
Yeah. So it's changing. You're feeling the big change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's because it's because of the clash has been released.
Okay.
Your authority. So people will tend to take you more seriously this year because of the dragon.
Thank you, dragon. Yes.
Yeah. So it flips. So you can see how if you went to a reader that just did the standard thing, they would say, "Oh, bad career."
Yeah.
But this method would say, because of this, we say, "Oh, it's actually locked away. It's actually good for your career."
Oh, good.
Because of that.
That's good to hear.
Okay. And also having a look at your life cycle, you haven't really had any fire much throughout your chart, but we're going on to look what we say this year is a dragon, so this effect will last just this year for you. However, from the time 2026, you're going to enter into a new luck cycle. So you're going to get fire. It's actually yang fire dragon. So you're going to get
the dragon.
Yeah, so you're going to get a fire element, so that will help you. Okay, so the first 5 years or so from 2026 will be the fire. Then you have a bit of a crossover to the dragon.
Okay.
So the effect will be a little weak. 26 plus 5, that's 31. So probably from 2029, you start feeling the effect of the dragon. So that gets stronger and that releases your hidden authority, so to speak. And so that's it's not 1 year. The effect will be 5 to 7 years.
Okay, that's good.
So that's good.
I'm happy with that.
You're happy with that?
Yeah.
Very happy with that. However,
okay.
Yeah, this is the thing. However, because of that, you should not get married, unfortunately.
Well, lucky I wasn't planning on it next 5 years.
Because you're getting married is going to lock this up.
Yeah.
Relock it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any worry of that.
Okay,
so that's good.
And if you'll lock it back up, and unfortunately, because it's locked up, your partner won't won't see you as having authority of that, and so unfortunately won't respect you. Yeah. Because it's saying, have no credibility kind of thing.
Yeah.
So actually, this is the case with some charts. I have to tell people that it's not in their best interest to marry, even though, look, as humans, we all like love. We all want love. We all want a lifetime companion, someone that cares for us and be with us together for the rest of our lives. Because, look, your parents are going to pass away before you do. And your siblings, they have their own lives. Okay? As much as they love you, they've got other worries. They can't be with you. So who are you going to be with? So most people went, a life partner. Be with me my journey throughout their life. But for some people, it's bad for them, either health-wise, career-wise, or just life generally. So in your case, your authority gets locked up again.
Okay, yeah, no.
Okay. Okay.
That's only until 29, 30, 31, isn't it?
No,
Then I can pursue a partner, right?
Uh,
Or no?
No, but because then after that, you go back to normal and then they really lock it up again.
Really?
Yeah.
So no partner for me ever?
Well, if you yeah, but this is the thing. If you marry,
Or
this
not
is
marriage.
This is going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can accept that, then you marry,
Okay.
but knowing what you do, partner not really going to respect you
Yeah. Okay.
because you lose your authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, but that's what happens. I've seen some charts where I've sorry, I know you want kids, but it's not good for you to have kids.
Yeah.
Because or why? Because your life will turn really badly afterwards.
Yeah.
And some in particular, it's if they have either a son or a daughter. It activates a certain thing in their chart,
Okay.
and that actually brings the whole thing down.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's very unfortunate when I have to deliver that news, but people need to know.
Yeah.
People need to know so they can make informed decisions,
Yep.
whether or not it's good or bad.
They do with it what they want. Yep.
Okay, so this is the types of things that I find Western Australia doesn't cover, and particularly all the bad news stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah, no.
okay, because no one wants to upset the client,
Yeah.
and because I find that Western Astrology also they do it because they don't have a fix for it. So the client's like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
If this situation, well, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Whereas for us now, this is an advantage of this type of astrology because we use elements.
Yeah.
It also interacts with other applications like in feng shui. They use a lot of elements. And so if there's an issue, we can fix it with feng shui.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it relates to traditional Chinese medicine, which is also called TCM for short. And they use elements in the body as well. So if there's element issues in your chart, we know it can affect your health
Okay.
from the elements. And
Do you cover health in?
yeah, this is one
good.
thing I need to tell you, and this is very important.
Okay.
You have an issue, particularly this year, of water, because the rat is water on water. It is pure water.
Okay.
You've got there. The dragon, it's a wood dragon year, I know, but dragon combines with the rat. They
Okay.
like each other. Actually, that's why you're going to be quite popular this year.
Okay.
People perceive you did differently also because of that. Remember, the year pillar is the outside.
Okay.
Produces more water.
Okay.
Okay, but your chart at the moment, you've got horse and dog that produces fire, with the wood from the rabbit fueling the fire.
Okay.
So you're going to have a clash between water and fire.
Okay.
A lot of people would understand. Yeah, that's a clash. Fire and water. They would like each other. Now in the body, what's fire element is the heart. Circulation, blood, the water and the sexual organs as well.
Okay.
The water areas are like the kidneys, the bladder, of course,
Yeah.
prostate, urinary tract
Makes
area,
sense, yeah.
all the water. And because those two areas, that and your reproductive system is very close, that's why people tend to have issues around that area because of that clash. Now, you have the clash between those two elements this year. So, unfortunately, you might have health issues in those areas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's either the sexual organs, heart, or urinary tract area.
Okay.
So that is something that you have to
Be
be very mindful of.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a trade-off this year, and especially when it comes to when you're going into that next cycle period when you have the dragon for a long time.
Yeah.
You have to be very, very careful
Okay.
and looking after health. So on the one hand, it gives you authority,
Yeah.
respect,
Yeah.
in your career. But on the other hand, it also gives you the health
Your health might suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
issues. So
Okay.
that's why I have to say, be very careful. Detox,
Yes.
cleanse yourself,
Yes.
and so to be able to look after yourself and keep yourself healthy. Because knowing that, people go, you can do something about it.
Okay.
Now, twitchy. That's why. Also, like it's an analogy. You'd be surprised how many people say, okay, give me a reading. But if there's anything bad I don't want to know about, don't tell me.
No, knowledge is power.
Yeah. To me, it equates to you go to a doctor, give me an examination. But if there's something wrong, I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
That doesn't make any sense.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Well, people don't understand. Then they can do something about it.
Yeah.
It's an issue. We can, help it. Even with a health issue, like that, with the feng shui, if there's an issue, or beforehand you take care of the health issue, but also the partner that you're with or people in your life that you're with, how their chart interacts with your chart.
Okay.
Some people can lift yourself up, maybe resolve this issue that you've got.
Yeah.
And then just by them being with you, you shoot up.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's why the ones where I tell people that's who you should marry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've resolved that issue for you. Hey. Like for some people, they might be held back in their business or their career, and I don't know why they try so hard, but they've got that issue. But if they marry that right person, it's the strongest effect is your marriage partner because they're with you all the time.
Yeah.
Share the life, and you're joined. We have to have two becomes one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lesser effect is friends or associates or thing. But you say if you're in business, then you really need to look at your business partner if you're taking a business partner because that directly affects your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. But there's also, so if purely by them being with you, they might have nothing to do with the business. They resolve that, business goes up. You're able to take off. But conversely, also means that someone else that you've taken on, they could create an issue for you. Either not resolve it, effect is neutral, okay, or they bring it down, exacerbate the situation. And then say no matter how much you love them, I have to tell them this is the truth. They're bad for you in this way. If you insist on marrying that person because they're so hot or whatever, you love them, they're a great singer or blah, blah, blah. Know what you're in for. And this is the things that people don't realize that you need to actually check on as well. And some people change you.
Yeah.
They do change your personality, whether it's better or worse. And so this is the thing where I find that Westerners, to do a relationship compatibility analysis, this is the best thing for it. Because Western astrology doesn't cover those areas. They say how well you get along and your personality. And that's all fine and well. But I guess it also the astrology develops according to the culture. And this has come from ancient, Taoist, which is from ancient China.
Yeah.
And these were the concerns as well. Fine well, you like each other, but that's not enough. You have to be able to have a good life together.
Complement each other.
That you
uplift each other.
Yeah, that you ensure you match together. That would ensure that you have a great life together. Then, if you have a trouble-free life, it means you stay longer together. Yeah. Less arguments. Yeah, less stress, so forth. Less stress means less arguments.
Yes,
and less
100%.
arguments mean you stay together longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's a bad match, there may not be anything wrong with the two of you. You're just bad together. You could be the perfect partner for someone else.
Yes.
So we just say, it's not, there's no point in trying to insist on that. And that's what we say. So, and that's why it's best for that. So on another note, it's a good year for you in terms of your authority, work and so forth, but just be very careful of your health and in those areas.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, look, for instance, I just recently did a reading for King Charles.
Okay. Yeah.
You heard that he's just been been diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
He had the prostate issue, and then suddenly he's next we heard he's got cancer.
Yeah.
And I had a look at his chart, and poor Charles, I can see why.
Yeah.
Heavily water.
Okay.
Because he's a rat as well.
Yeah.
And it just combines with the rest of his chart, produces too much water, especially when the main water months. And so he had cancer. And where is it? Down that area. We can speculate, you said the prostate. Initially, they didn't say it was prostate cancer. They said they discovered cancer when they were doing that. And there's been some speculation that it's probably bladder cancer if they've saying so, or that place, it's the plumbing system, body's plumbing. So it's had issues with that area. So look, you can go back and have a listen to that my forecast. But I was saying, look, the D-Day for him, this a big decider, is at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Rat month, which is December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then ox month as well, which is January, and that combines with the rat and produces more water. So so it's either he can get through it if it changes his chart.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Then water will be good for him if he's able to change chart. Then he'll be able to overcome it. Or if not, unfortunately, it's going to be a short reign for Charles.
Yeah.
He's barely warmed his throne.
Mm.
So this is what's in for it. So not a surprise that it's happened to him this year, but this is the sort of thing that I have to tell you, just be very careful about.
Sure.
Yeah. So so that's the show. Thank you so much for coming in.
It was my pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you've had a chance to tell your story
Yes.
to everyone, so to speak, and I think everyone would be very interested, because to them, a lot of people, this is quite an unusual case,
Yeah.
so to speak. Being gay, from the Middle Eastern background and community mixing, how would the people do? I mean, how would they survive? As some people would like to think, be throwing rocks at or what?
No.
So to speak.
Not quite that bad.
Not quite that bad. So thanks you so much for telling us that experience, and I hope a lot of our listeners have gone away and been more enlightened, so to speak. I wouldn't say enlightened, I'd say more got something out of you telling us your story.
I hope so too.
Okay, and people are more aware now of also what readings involve, and how it can apply to your life. And now you can plan.
Yeah.
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 Probably get a doctor checkup just to make sure.
Yeah.
Speak, and then take precautions to rent, because it's not just after this year. Then later you get like 5 to 7 years of the same effect.
Yeah.
Good for your work though.
Yeah.
But you have to be very careful with your health.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for my reading.
Yeah, and I hope you got a lot out of that.
I did
as well. So
yeah, I did.
So that's the show, everyone. Remember to tune in next week again, same time.